You are born to build your own prison, not metaphorically, literally. Your entire early career is spent secreting the material that will eventually surround you completely, harden around you, and lock you inside forever. You will do this cheerfully because you don't know any better, and by the time you realize what's happening, it is far too late. Welcome to being a bone cell. Get comfortable. You're not going anywhere, ever. You start life as an osteoblast, a builder cell, and honestly, this part isn't bad. You have a job, you have purpose, you have colleagues. Your whole crew lines up along the surface of existing bone like construction workers on a scaffold, and together you pump out collagen and minerals, laying down new bone matrix layer by layer. You are building something. You are contributing. For a brief window of time, being a bone cell feels genuinely meaningful. Then the job finishes. And here's where things go wrong. The bone surface you've been building starts closing around you. The matrix you've been secreting this whole time, the stuff you made with your own cellular machinery, begins hardening on all sides. Your colleagues on either side are also getting enclosed. Nobody panics because, again, nobody understands what's happening until it's done. The matrix mineralizes. Calcium crystals lock everything into place. You are now sealed inside solid bone. Your new home is called a lacuna. It is a microscopic cave in the hardest tissue in the human body, custom shaped around you because you made it, and you will never leave it. You have been upgraded from osteoblast to osteocyte, which sounds like a promotion, but is actually just a technical term for an osteoblast that got walled in and had to find a new hobby. You have roughly 25 years ahead of you in this hole, maybe more. Enjoy. The good news, and there is some barely, is that you are not completely cut off. Tiny tunnels called canaliculi extend out from your lacuna in every direction, like cracks in rock. You squeeze long, spindly arms through these tunnels and connect to neighboring osteocytes who are also trapped in their own lacunae. Together you form a network, a communication web buried inside solid bone, passing chemical signals back and forth like prisoners tapping Morse code through a prison wall. This is your social life now. Your main job as an osteocyte is to sense mechanical stress. When the body walks, runs, jumps, or lifts something heavy, the bone bends. Microscopically, imperceptibly, but it bends, and you feel it. Fluid shifts through the canaliculi. Your arms flex. You register the load and send signals outward. More bone needed here. Reinforce this section. This area is under stress. You are a living sensor array buried in calcium, monitoring structural integrity for a skeleton that has no idea you exist. You are, in a very real sense, the building's smoke detector. For decades, you sit in your lacuna, arms outstretched through your tunnels, feeling vibrations, sending signals, doing your job with no light, no movement, no change of scenery. The world outside your bone is apparently doing all kinds of things. Growing, aging, running marathons, eating bad food, and you register none of it except as mechanical pressure and chemical gradients. This is your entire universe, force and chemistry, forever. But here's where it gets genuinely grim. Bone isn't static. The body constantly breaks it down and rebuilds it in a process called remodeling. And this is where your network becomes a matter of life and death. When a section of bone gets damaged, a micro crack from repeated stress, the kind that happens millions of times across the skeleton just from normal daily movement, the osteocytes nearest to the damage do something dramatic. They send out a distress signal. Specifically, they stop sending the signal that keeps osteoclasts away. Osteoclasts are the demolition crew. Big, aggressive, multinucleated cells whose entire existence is dedicated to dissolving bone. They patrol the surface looking for the chemical signal that says, tear this down. Under normal conditions, you and your network are constantly broadcasting, don't touch this, we're fine. When a nearby osteocyte dies or gets damaged, that signal drops, and the osteoclasts come. They dissolve everything: the bone matrix, the collagen, the calcium crystals, all of it eaten away in a process that looks, under a microscope, like watching acid work. They don't stop for the living osteocytes trapped inside. If you're in the remodeling zone, your lacuna gets dissolved too. You get consumed along with the bone around you. This is not an accident or a malfunction. This is the plan. This is literally how the system is designed to work. You built the prison, the warden eats the prison, and you go with it. If you're lucky, fresh osteoblasts move in right behind the demolition crew, laying down new matrix, sealing new cells inside, and the cycle repeats. The bone gets replaced. New osteocytes take up residence in new lacunae, blissfully unaware of what happened to the last ones. If you're not in a remodeling zone, you just keep sitting in your lacuna, which sounds better until you account for time. As the body ages, the remodeling system starts losing its balance. The demolition crew gets slightly more aggressive than the builders. Bone density drops. Your network gets patchier as more cells die and fewer replacements arrive. The canaliculi start to close up. Your arms, reaching through the tunnels for neighbors, start finding empty space where signals used to come back. One by one, the voices in your network go quiet. You're still sensing, still signaling, but to fewer and fewer listeners. Eventually, your own cellular machinery starts failing. Your mitochondria slow down. Your signals get weaker. The network that kept you connected to something larger than your tiny lacuna starts going dark at the edges. And without your survival signals reaching the osteoclasts in time, without enough network left to maintain the chemical truce, the demolition crew gets the green light. They come for your section next. You spent decades buried in the hardest material in the human body, arms outstretched through tunnels as no wider than a hair, doing the unglamorous and completely unrecognized work of keeping the whole skeleton from quietly falling apart. The skeleton never knew you were there. The demolition crew didn't care. New cells are already moving in. Same prison, different prisoner, same job. The bone doesn't remember you, it just keeps standing.